Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to another episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I am your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, training facilitator and coach with Grant Cardone. I'm bringing you weekly sales solutions, tips, strategies, and attitude adjustments from the 10X world of Grant Cardone. Now, today is Wednesday, which means what? It means it is time for the Wednesday Word. What happens on the Wednesday Word? Very, very simple. I got a list, I got a database of 180 some odd success-themed words. I'm going to take each one of these words. I'm going to open up a dictionary. I'm going to go into that dictionary. I'm going to find the definitions, the origins, the etymologies of the words. I'm going to find out what they mean and how we can plug them into our sales, our business, and our life and get some extra added results. Use these words to tune up our attitude, our approach, and our level of action. Why am I doing this? Well, the first lesson I learned from Grant: selling is a conversation, and power comes from the words that you use. So I don't know about you, but man, I want to make sure that the words I'm using, I know what they mean, that I know what I'm talking about over here. Rather, I'm not just spewing some random word that sounds right, sounds fitting, but man, I know what the word means, and I know what power is in that word. Yeah. So let's get into today's word, shall we? This week's word, it is something that the average human relies on getting from the outside. Let me say that again. This is something that the average, ordinary human being relies on getting from the outside. Whereas the exceptional and top producers, high performers, they know how to create this and they know how to cultivate it on their own. Today's word is inspired. Yeah, inspired. It's an adjective, meaning it describes something. It describes a state of being, if you will. So let's look at some definitions for the word inspired. Of extraordinary quality, as if arising from some external impulse. Using that in a sentence, it would be like, they had to thank the goalie for some inspired saves. Now, they could be referencing soccer or hockey. Next definition, of a person. So inspired, meaning of a person, someone, exhibiting a creative impulse in the activity specified. Exhibiting a creative impulse in the activity specified. She was an inspired gardener. He was an inspired trumpet player, Miles Davis. Okay? Inspired. And then of air, like if it's referencing air or some other substance, means that is breathed in. Inspired air must be humidified. So now we're getting into some physics and some biology. But where did this word come from? It's Middle English. We're just gonna keep going back, okay? Inspire with an E instead of an I. From Old French, inspirer. From Latin, inspirare, meaning to breathe or to blow into. And the word was originally used of a divine or supernatural being. So this spire thing, also spirit. And it, in this case, inspired meaning to impart a truth or an idea to someone. And then that general sense of influence or animate with an idea or a purpose. So now what? What are we going to do with that? Okay. Well, it's going to lead me to a series of several questions for you. Today's episode is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. The work you're going to have to do after this, though, may take a little longer. Okay? So I got a series of questions for you. So if you don't have a notepad, maybe get one. Question number 1. Are you inspired, that is? Are you inspired? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Are you inspired right now? And if not, why not? Man, spend some time on that one. And then, again, if not, or even if so, what has inspired you in the past? What are some things that in your history inspired you? And if you're not, what happened so that you're not inspired anymore? And then I guess the real question then is, are you going to continue to allow that to hold you down? When was the last time you felt truly inspired? Like, think about that. Get it, put a date on it if you can. What was happening at that time? What was going on in your world? Would you like to have that again? Maybe you're inspired right now, but you're not letting it out fully. Here's another question. Are you waiting for inspiration to strike? Or are you cultivating it actively by doing inspiring things? I mean, what if it turned out that inspiration did not come from some external source, but that divine energy has resided in you the whole time? And yet, unbeknownst to you, you've just merely been relying on the external to fire it up. When in reality, you had the key to that ignition all along. So here's the last question. Are you willing to do the work? The work necessary to unleash and spark your internal fire so you don't have to rely on some external fire to be inspired. Are you willing to do the work to unleash and spark your internal fire so you don't have to rely on an external fire for you to be inspired? Are you willing to do it? That's the question. It's a yes or no question. And then if the answer to that is yes, then will you? And if the answer to that is yes, then the last question I got for you is when? When are you going to start? When are you going to start inspiring yourself and not be dependent upon some external force to get you jacked up and motivated? What needs to go on in here for you to do that all on your own? This has been your Wednesday Word. I'm here every single Wednesday dropping word bombs, words that we're going to take and pull the power out of and then plug into our sales, our business, and our life. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. If you got some value out of this, if you were inspired by today's episode, please make sure that you have shared this out into cyberspace so somebody else can be inspired from it as well. Thank you again for being here. I'm going to leave you with the words of Grant Cardone. Hopefully these are inspiring too. Be great, because nothing else pays. See you soon.